In this video, I'm going to show you how to place the radiator on this Nissan Frontier. This is located under the hood, right in front of your engine. Let's get started. Right over the radiator, you'll see these two brackets. Let's remove both of the front and the rear 10mm headed bolts to get the brackets out of the way. Now on each side of the grille where the bumper cover attaches to the upper radiator support, you'll see two of these push clips. Let's pop them both out. We'll do the same to the other side. This should allow you to pull this away a little bit to access these bolts right here. 10mm socket, take them out. Now remove the brackets. Now back to this intake tubing. Let's twist this counterclockwise and this will unhook it from the air box. You can pull this up and out of the way. From underneath the truck in the front, we have to remove this shield to then be able to remove this shield to get to everything that is at the bottom of the radiator, which you could get around and through this, but it is way more difficult, and I find it worth it to just remove a few bolts and open everything up. We use a 10mm socket for everything down here. We'll start by taking off the bolts that hold the plastic on. With those off, remove the plastic. With that exposed, there are 4 more screws that we need to remove here. And then 4 more 10mm bolts hold the shield on. On the passenger side of the radiator underneath, you'll see the drain plug, which is just a Phillips head cutout. Take a number 3 Phillips head screwdriver, unthread it, and pull it out all the way. Let this drain into your collection receptacle. There we go. Once this is done draining, go ahead and plug it back up. Just reinstall this and thread it in all the way. Snug it just a little bit. It is plastic, so keep that in mind. You don't want to over tighten it. On the opposite side of the radiator, you'll see where the lower radiator hose is. With some pliers, I'm going to pinch the clamp and pull it away. Also with some pliers, I will gently break this hose free. I have a collection bucket underneath because no matter how much you drain it, there will still be coolant coming out of this radiator hose. And now, slowly disconnect it. Because we have an automatic transmission, we have transmission cooler lines. So with some pliers, I'm going to pinch these clamps, and with a collection bucket that is for oil underneath, I'm going to pull these away. Some transmission fluid will drain. I'm going to get this hose out of this retainer as well while I'm at it. And another transmission cooler hose on the other side of the radiator. This is near the lower radiator hose. There we go. Let this one drain as well. Back up top, there's a hose that goes from the overflow all the way to the radiator cap. We'll unhook that. And then at the radiator, there's a clamp that you have to pinch and pull away. We'll set that hose aside. On the other side of the radiator at the top, you have the upper radiator hose. We'll have to disconnect this clamp, pull this away, and pull this hose away, break it free. Right next to that, you have some 10mm headed screws that we have to remove. These hold the fan shroud onto the radiator. and one on the other side. This allows us to pull the fan shroud away from the radiator. If you wanted to pull this out completely, right below the fan right here, there's a piece that allows you to separate the fan shroud. I'm going to reach in here and unhook it. I'll show you exactly in a second how to do that. That will allow you to pull the fan shroud right up and out. So this is the lower fan shroud setup. It's got 2 clips here, and you just pull it straight out. Well, you push it from the top. It's got 1 clip on each side, and that's how it separates. On each corner at the top, let's undo a 10mm fastener that holds the AC condenser onto the radiator. Do the same to the other side. And with that done, the radiator should separate from the AC condenser, and you'll be able to pull it right up and out. And there it is. One thing we have to transfer over from the old radiator to the new one are these metal sides, and these help support the radiator. Without them, it won't sit in place. All you need is a 12mm wrench or socket. At the bottom, there will be 1 bolt. Remove it. With that bolt out, you can pull the bracket away, slide it up from the top. It's got a pin that it slides on, and then I have the other radiator right underneath it, so I can slide it right on. I'm going to put that bolt right down in here, and we'll snug it up. That's bottomed out. Give it a little bit extra, not too much. You don't want to break the plastic that holds all this together. And that's it for this side. Do the same to the other side of the radiator. On each side of where the radiator goes, you'll see these brackets. These holes are where the radiator is supposed to sit in with those brackets that we transferred over. So just pay attention to that as you drop the radiator down. Take the radiator, slide it down into position. Just make sure you don't damage the fins or any other lines or hoses that are in the way. At the bottom, you want to make sure that the AC condenser, the 2 little tabs that line it up here, and on the other side, right there, line up with the radiator support brackets that we transferred over. Now on each side, line up the top corner of the radiator with the top corner of the AC condenser. Just the 2 little 10mm headed bolts. Thread this one in, do the same to the other side, and only once both are in, then you can tighten them up. If only one is in and you need to move the condenser, the radiator around, it'll be a whole lot more difficult if they're clamped down tight. I'll just give them a quick snug. That's good. Do the same to the other side. Make sure the radiator is seated in its mounting points. At the bottom of the new radiator, let's double check that our drain plug is fully tightened. As you can see, this one was a little bit loose. This one takes a flat head. So I'm just going to snug that up. Moving on to our hoses. Reinstall one of the transmission fluid hoses. Make sure that's bottomed out completely, and then put the clamp back on. On the other side, we had another transmission cooler hose. And the lower radiator hose. I will be doing this from the top, but once the fan shroud goes in, these 2 transmission cooler hoses had a couple clips that they attached to on the fan shroud on the bottom. Let's reinstall the shield on the bottom. Two bolts in the back and 2 in the front. Reinstall the 4 screws that hold the bumper cover onto the shield. And then reinstall this plastic shield that goes on the front. Now let's get the fan shroud reinstalled. I'll start with the small piece that goes on the bottom. Just put that underneath the fan and then bring the main part of the fan shroud down. Just make sure that as it goes down, you don't pinch any wires or hoses or anything like that. Make sure it slides down all the way. Clip on the lower part of the fan shroud. Make sure it clicks and is locked in. I'm also going to attach the 2 transmission cooler hoses on the bottom. Just going to reach all the way down, and you can feel for the clips that lock them in, just push them right in. At the top, you want to make sure that the fan shroud is pushed up against the radiator, and once it is lined up, you want to go ahead and put the 2 coarse threaded screws in, 10mm head, just to secure it onto the radiator. Now, as you tighten these, you want to make sure you don't over tighten them because they go into plastic. So once it bottoms out, give it a quick extra snug, not even 1/8 of a turn, less than that, and that should be plenty tight. I'm going to put the radiator cap back on. I know we have to take it off to fill it, but at least for now, it makes it so no debris can fall in here while we continue working. Take this hose that comes from the overflow and resecure it onto the fan shroud. It's got 2 retainers on it, and then line it up with the area where it mounts on near the radiator cap. Slide it on all the way, and then it has a little clamp that you have to put right back on to seal it up. It's time for the upper radiator hose. Slide this onto the radiator all the way. We'll get that clamp resecured. There we go. Take your intake snorkel and line it up. We'll put it back onto the air filter housing right here and then turn it so it can lock in. On each side of the radiator, let's install the smaller brackets that hold the radiator itself. These are towards the outside. And we'll get the 10mm headed bolt right in here. Snug that up. And right next to it is going to be the larger bracket, which goes just like this from the upper radiator support with the smaller bolt on this side all the way to the intake snorkel with the longer bolt on this side. Tighten it all up. And we'll do the same on this side. And with that done, you can now clip in the top of the bumper or the grille with the 2 push clips on each side. Do the same to the other side. It's time to fill and bleed the cooling system. On the passenger side, right where the overflow or expansion tank is, you're going to have what looks like a radiator cap, so turn it counterclockwise and remove it. And I have a spill-proof funnel or a bleeding funnel that I'm going to install here, and this will help me, well, obviously not spill, but also this will make this the highest point in the cooling system, and naturally air will rise up and bubble out as I fill it with antifreeze. I'm going to continue filling this until the reservoir gets to the max line. At that point, I will start and run the vehicle, let it warm up, let it get to full operating temperature, and add coolant as needed so that it can stay topped off. That way all the air can be pushed out of the system. Once it stops bubbling and it stays at operating temperature, you can shut it off and we can remove the funnel. Just as a tip on this particular system, if you're having trouble getting the coolant to go down, undo the radiator cap a little bit. Don't remove it, leave it on here, but this will allow air to come up and out. Now the reason I don't want to remove it is because if this fills up, I can tighten it quickly without losing too much coolant here, but this allows the overflow to take in the rest of the coolant that's needed. Once everything is bled, the engine has ran and it's at full operating temperature, remove the funnel. Remove any excess coolant that is still in the reservoir. You don't want it full to the brim. You want it about halfway, and then cap this off. Because we had the transmission lines disconnected, it's a good idea to check the level of the fluid in the transmission to make sure that it's still full. The dipstick to check it is located on the passenger side between the air box and this fuse box right down there. It's held on with a 10mm bolt that we have to remove. With that off, you'll be able to pull the dipstick out. If you look closely at the dipstick, you'll see that on one side it has some marks and it says cold. If you flip it over, it has other marks a little further up and it says hot. With the transmission in park, preferably after you've driven it for a few minutes and the transmission is at operating temperature on a level surface. Pull the dipstick out, wipe it, dip it back in, and see where the fluid level is. If it's anywhere below this lower mark, as in right here, you need to add some transmission fluid. If it's within the hash marks, you're good to go. Of course, if it's above, it's overfilled. But you want to make sure that it is at operating temperature, because if you look at it when it's cold, you want to go by this range. Transmission fluid will expand, so you don't want to accidentally look on the cold range when it's hot and confuse it for being overfilled. Once you're done checking, put the dipstick back in, and we'll put our 10mm bolt back on. Snug this up just a little bit. To add transmission fluid, put it through the dipstick with a funnel.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.